Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Society. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe you've had a long day filled with thoughts and tasks, or perhaps you're someone who prefers drifting off to fascinating stories rather than silence. Either way, you're in the right place. Tonight's journey takes us beneath the waves, into the realm of one of Earth's most misunderstood and magnificent creatures. Before we begin, if these calm explorations help you unwind at the end of your day, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps others discover these gentle scientific journeys, one curious mind at a time. Tonight, we're diving deep into the world of sharks. These ancient hunters have glided through Earth's oceans for over 450 million years, long before dinosaurs walked the land, before trees grew tall, before insects took flight. They've survived 5 mass extinction events that wiped out most other life on the planet. They've watched continents drift apart, oceans rise and fall, and climates shift from tropical warmth to icy cold. And through it all, they've persisted, adapted, and thrived in ways that continue to astound scientists today. We'll explore how these remarkable creatures sense the world around them, detecting electric fields weaker than you could ever imagine. We'll meet the Megalodon, a prehistoric giant with teeth the size of your hand and a bite force that dwarfed any creature that's ever lived. We'll discover how modern sharks navigate vast oceans, how they've evolved into hundreds of different species, and why they're far more than the mindless predators popular culture would have you believe. So settle in, let your breathing slow, and prepare to see sharks in a way you never have before. Ancient origins, 450 million years of survival. To understand sharks, we must travel back in time, far beyond human history, beyond the age of mammals, even beyond the reign of dinosaurs. We journey back to the Devonian period, roughly 420 million years ago, when the first recognizable sharks appeared in ancient seas. These early oceans were a strange and alien world. Most creatures lacked backbones. The continents were arranged in configurations we wouldn't recognize. There were no fish as we know them today. No whales, no seals, nothing that would look familiar. Yet, in this primordial soup of early marine life, sharks began their long evolutionary story. The very first sharks remain somewhat mysterious to us. We know them only from tiny scales, minute fragments preserved in ancient rocks, each scale a fraction of a millimeter long. These scales, called denticles, are all that remains of creatures that swam when life itself was still experimenting with basic body plans. We have no complete skeletons from these earliest sharks, no teeth, no clear picture of what they looked like. It wasn't until about 410 million years ago, during the early Devonian period, that sharks left behind more complete remains, giving us our first real glimpse of their form. These ancient sharks looked nothing like the streamlined predators we see today. Evolution was still tinkering with the basic shark design, and the results were often bizarre. Consider the Stethecanthus, a shark that lived around 350 million years ago. This peculiar creature had a dorsal fin shaped like an ironing board, flat on top and covered with tooth-like scales. Scientists still debate what this strange structure was for. Perhaps it was used in mating displays, or maybe it helped protect the shark from predators attacking from above. Whatever its purpose, it was unlike anything we see in modern sharks. Then there was Helicoprion, one of the most puzzling sharks ever to swim the ancient seas. This creature had a mouth like a spiral saw, with teeth arranged in a whorl that grew continuously throughout its life. For over a century, scientists argued about where this spiral actually sat in the shark's mouth. Was it on the lower jaw? The upper jaw? Inside the mouth? Recent computer modeling and fossil analysis finally revealed that the whorl sat in the back of the lower jaw, functioning like a circular saw to slice through prey. Helicoprion lived from about 290 to 250 million years ago, surviving one of Earth's worst mass extinctions before finally disappearing. Xenocanths represent another fascinating chapter in shark evolution. These freshwater sharks thrived between 350 and 200 million years ago, adapting to rivers and estuaries rather than open ocean. They could reach lengths of about 6 feet and had a distinctive sharp spine behind their head, possibly for protection against predators. Interestingly, late in their evolutionary history, xenocanths lost this spine. Some scientists speculate it may have posed dangers during birth, when baby sharks with spines might injure their mothers, or perhaps the spine hampered their maneuverability in the complex environments of river systems. These sharks were remarkably successful, with fossils found on every continent except Antarctica, showing they could adapt to diverse climates and seasonal changes in water levels. Throughout their long history, sharks have faced and survived 5 major mass extinction events, each of which killed off more than 75% of species on Earth. This survival record is extraordinary. Most lineages of animals that existed 450 million years ago are long gone. Their evolutionary experiments ended by catastrophe or competition. But sharks persisted. They didn't remain unchanged, as the old, living fossil label suggests. Rather, they adapted, diversified, and changed with each extinction event, bouncing back in new forms suited to the altered world they found themselves in. The end of the Devonian period, about 375 million years ago, brought the first major test of shark resilience. A series of extinction pulses, possibly caused by climate change and ocean anoxia. Events where the oceans lost their oxygen wiped out many marine species. Sharks survived, though their diversity decreased temporarily. Then came the Permian extinction, about 252 million years ago, the worst mass dying in Earth's history. This catastrophe, possibly triggered by massive volcanic eruptions in Siberia, killed an estimated 96% of all marine species. The oceans became acidic and oxygen depleted. Yet sharks made it through, emerging in the subsequent Triassic period to diversify once again. The end Cretaceous extinction, the event that killed the non-avian dinosaurs 6 million years ago, posed another challenge. An asteroid strike near what's now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula threw up vast amounts of dust and debris, blocking sunlight and causing global cooling. Marine food chains collapsed. Fossil evidence shows that this extinction killed off many of the largest shark species of the time. Only the smallest sharks and those living in deep water, species that fed primarily on fish rather than relying on more complex food webs, survived. But survive they did, and in the aftermath, they began to grow large again, evolving new forms to fill the ecological niches left empty by extinct marine reptiles. This pattern of survival often came down to flexibility. Sharks that could eat a variety of prey, that could tolerate different temperatures and water conditions, that could reproduce in diverse ways. These were the ones that made it through when the world turned hostile. Their cartilaginous skeletons, though less likely to fossilize than bone, offered advantages in life. Cartilage is lighter than bone, requiring less energy to maintain and allowing sharks to be more efficient swimmers. Their ability to replace teeth continuously, growing new ones throughout their lives, meant they could keep feeding even if teeth broke or wore down, unlike animals with a single set of adult teeth. The story of shark evolution is not one of stagnation, but of continuous adaptation. From the bizarre experimental forms of the Paleozoic era to the sleek predators of today, sharks have been constantly refined by natural selection. Each extinction event served as a filter, eliminating species that couldn't adapt quickly enough while allowing the more flexible lineages to survive and radiate into new forms. This long history of survival through catastrophe has given modern sharks their remarkable diversity and resilience, traits that served them well for hundreds of millions of years, though they now face perhaps their greatest challenge in the form of human activity. The Megalodon era, giants of the deep. Among all the sharks that have ever lived, one stands above the rest in our imagination and in sheer physical presence. The Megalodon. Its name means big tooth, and that name is entirely deserved. The largest megalodon teeth ever discovered measure over 7 inches in length, some reaching nearly 8 inches from root to tip. Hold your hand open and imagine a tooth longer than the span from your wrist to your fingertips, serrated like a steak knife and capable of slicing through bone as easily as we might cut butter. This was the defining feature of Otodus megalodon, the largest shark, and quite possibly the largest predatory fish that ever lived. Megalodon swam Earth's oceans from approximately 23 million years ago to about 3.6 million years ago. From the early Miocene through the early Pliocene epochs. This time span, over 17 million years of dominance, saw Megalodon spread to nearly every corner of the ocean. Megalodon teeth have been found in ancient seafloors on every continent except Antarctica. Some were discovered in the Chesapeake Bay area, where ancient seas once covered what is now land. Others emerged from marine deposits in Peru's desert, from the coasts of Japan, from the cliffs of England. Wherever large marine mammals swam during those millions of years, Megalodon likely followed. Determining the size of Megalodon presents challenges because, like all sharks, their skeletons were made of cartilage, which rarely fossilizes. We don't have complete Megalodon skeletons. What we have are teeth, lots and lots of teeth, along with some vertebrae that were partially calcified and therefore preserved. From these fragments, scientists must extrapolate the entire animal. They do this by studying the relationship between tooth size and body size in modern sharks, then applying these ratios to Megalodon's massive teeth. The estimates are staggering. Conservative calculations suggest Megalodon could reach lengths of 50 to 60 feet, roughly 3 times the length of the largest great white sharks. Some estimates push even higher, to 70 or even 80 feet for the largest individuals, though these extreme estimates are debated. What's more certain is the weight. A 50-foot megalodon would have weighed approximately 50 to 60 tons, as much as a loaded railroad car, or about the same as 10 large elephants. Female megalodons were larger than males, a pattern seen in many modern shark species, with females averaging 44 to 56 feet and males ranging from 34 to 5 feet. The jaw of a megalodon could open wide enough to engulf 2 adult humans standing side by side. Reconstructions suggest the jaw spanned nearly 9 to 11 feet across. At the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History, a life-size replica shows the jaw opened wide, and it's a popular spot for photographs because the scale is simply overwhelming. Looking at this replica, you begin to grasp what an encounter with a living megalodon would have meant. This was not an animal you could fight or escape from. This was raw power and predatory efficiency on a scale that's difficult to comprehend. The bite force of Megalodon remains a subject of scientific fascination. Computer models and biomechanical analysis suggest a bite force between 4,000 and 40,000 pounds per square inch. To put that in perspective, a great white shark, one of the most powerful biters among modern animals, has a bite force of about 4,000 pounds per square inch. A lion manages around 650 pounds per square inch. Megalodon's bite was in a completely different category. It could bite through the thick bones of whales with relative ease, something we know because paleontologists have found fossilized whale bones with characteristic gash marks from megalodon teeth, and sometimes even with complete megalodon teeth embedded in the bone, left behind when the tooth broke during an attack. What did Megalodon eat? The evidence points to a diverse diet of large marine prey. Baleen whales, the gentle giants that filter feed on tiny organisms, were likely favorite targets. Their massive size meant a single kill could provide an enormous amount of food, and their slower speeds compared to toothed whales made them more vulnerable. Toothed whales, including ancestral forms of modern sperm whales, dolphins, and orcas, also fell prey to megalodons. Seals, sea lions, and sirenians like dugongs and manatees rounded out the menu. Even other sharks weren't safe. Megalodon was an apex predator in the truest sense, with no natural enemies once fully grown. The hunting strategy of Megalodon can be inferred from the damage left on fossilized prey bones. Scientists believe that when attacking large prey like whales, Megalodons targeted the chest area, using their robust teeth to puncture through ribs and damage vital organs. This would have been devastating, causing massive trauma and rapid blood loss. The serrated edges of megalodon teeth were perfect for this kind of attack, functioning like saw blades to slice through flesh and cartilage. Some fossils show multiple bite marks on a single whalebone, suggesting either repeated attacks or feeding after the kill. Young megalodons faced more danger than adults. Newborn and juvenile individuals may have been vulnerable to other large predatory sharks, including great hammerhead sharks. Interestingly, The ranges and nursery areas of young megalodons seem to have overlapped with those of great hammerheads during the late Miocene and throughout the Pliocene. This suggests a complex ecosystem where even the young of the ocean's largest predator had to be wary. It also tells us that megalodons, like many modern sharks, likely used specific coastal areas as nurseries where females gave birth, and young sharks grew up in relatively safer waters before venturing into the open ocean. Megalodon's extinction, roughly 3.6 million years ago, remains a topic of debate among paleontologists. Several factors likely contributed. One major change was in ocean temperatures and currents. The Pliocene epoch saw significant cooling, with the formation of ice sheets at the poles altering ocean circulation patterns. These changes affected the distribution of prey species. Baleen whales, Megalodon's primary food source, began migrating to colder polar waters to feed on the abundant krill found there. Megalodon, being a large ectothermic animal, may have struggled to follow prey into these colder waters, where maintaining body temperature would have required even more food. Competition may have played a role as well. The ancestors of modern great white sharks appeared during the period when Megalodon was declining. These smaller, more agile predators may have competed with young megalodons for food, making it harder for megalodon populations to replace themselves. Additionally, changes in sea level during this period reduced the shallow coastal areas that served as nursery grounds, further stressing megalodon populations. When multiple stressors combine, even the mightiest species can falter. Megalodon had ruled for over 17 million years, but eventually, the changing world no longer supported a predator of such immense size and energy requirements. The legacy of Megalodon lives on in our imagination and in the scientific insights its fossils provide. Those massive teeth, found by beachcombers and paleontologists alike, serve as reminders of a time when even larger monsters ruled the seas. Ancient peoples found these teeth and marveled at them too. Pre-Columbian cultures in the Americas valued megalodon teeth, modifying them into knives, projectile points, jewelry, and funeral accessories. The Panamanian Sitio Conte societies used them for ceremonial purposes. Algonquin peoples mined megalodon teeth from the Chesapeake Bay area as early as 430 BC and traded them with the Adena culture in Ohio. The ancient Romans called them tongue stones, believing they fell from the sky during lunar eclipses. Megalodon wasn't the only impressive shark of prehistory. The seas of the Mesozoic era, the age of dinosaurs, hosted their own remarkable shark species. Cretoxyrhina, sometimes called the Ginsu shark, grew to about 23 feet in length and hunted marine reptiles like mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. Its teeth resembled those of modern mako sharks, leading early paleontologists to assume a close relationship. But detailed study of skeletal remains showed Cretoxyrhina was actually quite distinct, a unique predator of its time. The fact that similar body plans evolved independently in different shark lineages demonstrates the power of natural selection to find optimal solutions to the challenges of marine predation. As we let the image of these ancient giants fade from our thoughts, we can appreciate that while Megalodon is extinct, its smaller relatives persist. The sharks swimming in today's oceans carry the legacy of hundreds of millions of years of evolution. They may not match Megalodon's size, but they possess their own extraordinary adaptations, senses so refined they border on the supernatural, and behaviors so complex they challenge our assumptions about fish intelligence. It's to these modern marvels and their remarkable capabilities that we now turn our attention. The extraordinary senses, electroreception, and beyond. Imagine you're a seal, swimming in murky coastal waters. The visibility is poor, just a few feet at best. Can't see any threats approaching. Suddenly, from below, a shape erupts toward you with startling speed and precision. The shark that just struck you did so in water where sight was nearly useless, yet it found you perfectly, tracking you through senses you don't possess. How did it do this? The answer lies in one of the most remarkable sensory systems in the animal kingdom: electroreception. Sharks possess 7 senses, not just the 5 we humans rely on. In addition to sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste, sharks have a lateral line system that detects water movement and pressure changes, and they have electroreception, the ability to detect electric fields. This last sense, electroreception, is what we'll explore first, because it's perhaps the most alien to our human experience and the most extraordinary in its sensitivity. If you look closely at a shark's head, particularly around the snout and lower jaw, you'll notice tiny dark pores dotting the skin. At first glance, they might look like large pores or blackheads. These are actually the openings to the ampullae of Lorenzini, specialized electroreceptor organs named after Stefano Lorenzini, the Italian anatomist who first described them in 1678. For centuries, scientists puzzled over what these structures did. It wasn't until the mid-20th century that researchers finally understood their function. Each ampulla of Lorenzini consists of a jelly-filled canal that extends from a pore on the skin surface down to a bulb-shaped chamber beneath the surface. Inside this bulb is a cluster of sensory cells, each equipped with hair-like structures called cilia. The jelly filling these canals is remarkable in itself. It's made primarily of a substance called keratin sulfate in about 97% water, and it has one of the highest proton conductivity capabilities of any biological material. This means it conducts electricity extremely well, allowing even the tiniest electric fields to be transmitted from the pore opening down to the sensory cells in the ampulla. The sensitivity of these organs defies easy comprehension. Sharks can detect electric fields as weak as 5 nanovolts per centimeter. To put that in perspective, that's 5 billionths of a volt. Imagine 2 AA batteries, one at the beginning of a 1,000-mile-long wire and one at the end. If one battery started to lose power, a shark at the other end of that wire could detect the change in electrical current. Some species, like newborn bonnet-head sharks, can detect fields less than 1 nanovolt per centimeter, which is equivalent to the electric field produced by a flashlight battery connected to electrodes 10,000 miles apart in the ocean. This sensitivity is over 5 million times greater than anything humans can detect without instruments. But why do sharks need such extreme electrical sensitivity? The answer lies in how life works at a cellular level. Every living creature produces electric fields. When muscles contract, when hearts beat, when nerves fire, they create tiny electrical currents. In air, these currents dissipate quickly and are hard to detect. But water, especially salt water, conducts electricity quite well. Salt water contains dissolved ions, charged particles of sodium, chlorine, and other elements. These ions carry electrical signals through the water, and sharks have tuned their ampullae of Lorenzini to detect exactly these kinds of bioelectric fields. When a fish breathes, water flows through its gills. Ions move across gill membranes as the fish extracts oxygen. This creates a small but detectable electric field. When a fish swims, its muscles contract rhythmically, and each contraction produces a burst of electrical activity. Even a fish hiding perfectly still, buried in sand where a shark can't see, smell, or hear it, still produces an electrical signature from its heartbeat and the basic metabolic processes of its cells. To a shark hunting over a sandy bottom, these hidden prey light up like beacons in the electric field map the shark perceives through its ampullae of Lorenzini. The ampullae of Lorenzini are distributed across the shark's head in patterns that vary between species, reflecting their different hunting strategies. Great white sharks have elongate clusters above the eyes, V-shaped clusters surrounding the nostrils underneath the snout, sausage-shaped clusters under each eye, and oval clusters along each side of the chin. Hammerhead sharks have evolved perhaps the most extreme use of electroreception. Their bizarre, flattened heads, which give them their name, spread the ampullae of Lorenzini over a much wider area. When a hammerhead swims over the ocean floor, it sweeps its head back and forth like a metal detector, scanning for the electrical signatures of stingrays buried in the sand. This behavior is so effective that hammerheads can locate prey that would be essentially invisible to other predators. The ampullae of Lorenzini evolved from an even older sensory system called the lateral line, which is found in most fish. The lateral line system detects water movement and pressure changes through a series of fluid-filled canals running along the sides of the body and over the head. These canals contain hair cells similar to those in our inner ears. When water flows over the shark's skin, it enters small pores and causes the fluid in these canals to move, bending the hair cells and triggering nerve signals. This system allows sharks to detect the movements of nearby animals, even in complete darkness, sensing the pressure waves and water disturbances they create. The lateral line and the ampullae of Lorenzini work together during hunting. As a shark approaches potential prey, it uses different senses in a rough sequence. At great distances, perhaps a mile or more away, hearing is the primary sense. Sharks can detect low-frequency sounds, especially irregular sounds below 40 Hz, the kind of sounds made by struggling or injured fish. Sound travels faster and farther in water than in air, and a shark's inner ear is exquisitely sensitive to these vibrations. This is why sharks are often attracted to areas where fishing is taking place or where marine mammals are feeding actively. The splashing and commotion creates sound waves that carry for miles. As the shark gets closer, smell becomes important. Sharks have an incredibly acute sense of smell, with up to 2/3 of their brain devoted to olfaction in some species. They can detect blood in the water at concentrations as low as 1 part per million, roughly equivalent to detecting a teaspoon of blood in a swimming pool. The old saying that sharks can smell blood in the water from miles away isn't far from the truth. Scent molecules travel on ocean currents, creating chemical trails that sharks follow upstream toward the source. Closer still, vision comes into play, though its usefulness depends on water clarity. Shark eyes are actually quite sophisticated, with some species able to see well in dim light thanks to a reflective layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum, the same structure that makes cat's eyes glow in the dark. However, shark eyes are positioned on the sides of their head, which means they have a blind spot directly in front of their snout, exactly where prey ends up during an attack. This is where electroreception becomes crucial. In the final moments of an attack, when the shark is right on top of its prey, the ampullae of Lorenzini take over. The shark can precisely locate the prey even though it's in the blind spot. When a great white shark bites, its eyes actually roll back in their sockets for protection, temporarily blinding the shark. During this critical moment, electroreception guides the bite. And once the prey is wounded, it starts leaking charged electrolytes into the water, creating an even stronger electric field, up to 3 times stronger than an uninjured animal produces. As author Peter Benchley, who wrote Jaws, described it, this electrical signature becomes a beacon as clear and true as a lighthouse on a moonless night. Beyond hunting, sharks use their electroreceptors for navigation. The Earth has a magnetic field, and when water moves through this field, it creates weak electric currents. The ocean's currents, therefore, have electrical signatures. By detecting these fields, sharks can potentially navigate using a kind of electrical map of their environment. This might explain how some shark species undertake long-distance migrations with remarkable precision, returning year after year to the same locations even across thousands of miles of open ocean. Great white sharks, for instance, migrate up to 2,500 miles annually between feeding and breeding areas, and they may use a combination of electroreception and other cues to find their way. Scientists have also speculated that ampullae of Lorenzini might help sharks detect temperature changes. While this idea remains somewhat controversial, and the evidence is not conclusive. Some research suggests these organs might be sensitive to temperature gradients in the water. This could help sharks locate thermal boundaries between different water masses, or find the warm or cool water temperatures they prefer. The hearing sense in sharks deserves more attention as well. The structure of a shark's inner ear resembles ours, with 3 semicircular canals that help with balance and spatial orientation. But shark ears are far more sensitive to sound, particularly to low-frequency vibrations. The inner ear detects sounds that travel through the water directly to the skull. Sharks are especially tuned to frequencies between 20 and 300 Hz and show strong responses to irregular sounds at or below 20 Hz. These are the frequencies produced by struggling fish, by marine mammals in distress, by animals splashing at the surface. To a shark, these sounds mean opportunity, potential prey in trouble, and therefore easier to catch. The sense of smell in sharks operates through nares, or nostrils, located on the underside of the snout. Unlike our nostrils, shark nares are used only for smelling, not breathing. Water constantly flows through these nares, passing over folded membranes rich in sensory cells. The surface area for detecting scent molecules is enormous, and the olfactory bulbs in the shark brain, the areas that process smell information, are huge relative to body size. Different shark species have different olfactory capabilities depending on their lifestyle. Bottom-dwelling sharks like nurse sharks have relatively large olfactory bulbs and hunt mainly by smell, rooting around in the sand and rocks for hidden prey. Fast-swimming pelagic sharks like makos and blue sharks also have well-developed olfactory systems, but rely more on vision and speed during the final stages of hunting. Shark vision varies considerably by species. Deep-sea sharks living in perpetual darkness have relatively small eyes and rely more on other senses. Shallow water hunters like great whites and bull sharks have larger eyes with good visual acuity. The lens of a shark's eye doesn't change shape to focus like ours does. Instead, muscles move the lens forward or backward within the eye. Most sharks probably see the world in shades of gray, but there's evidence that some species may have limited color vision. The tapetum lucidum, that reflective layer behind the retina, greatly enhances vision in low light by giving photoreceptors a second chance to capture light that passed through the retina the first time. Touch and taste round out the sensory repertoire. Sharks have nerve endings distributed throughout their skin, though the density varies in different areas. The snout and mouth area are particularly sensitive. Taste buds are located in the mouth and throat, and sharks use taste to make final decisions about whether to swallow something they've bitten. This is why sharks sometimes bite potential prey, then spit it out if it doesn't taste right. Many shark attacks on humans follow this pattern. A single exploratory bite followed by the shark swimming away, having decided the person doesn't taste like the marine mammals or fish it normally eats. All these senses work together, creating a comprehensive picture of the shark's environment. From long-range detection of sounds and smells, through medium-range vision, to close-range detection of water movement and electric fields, sharks are walking, or rather swimming, sensor arrays. They have had 450 million years to refine these systems, and the result is one of nature's most effective predators. Understanding these senses helps us appreciate that shark attacks on humans are almost always cases of mistaken identity or curiosity. We don't fit the electrical or chemical profile of normal shark prey, and we certainly don't taste right. To a shark's sophisticated sensory system, we're strange, unfamiliar objects in their environment, not the prey they've evolved to hunt. Shark anatomy, engineering perfection. To swim efficiently through water, to hunt successfully, to survive for hundreds of millions of years, sharks evolved a body plan of remarkable elegance and efficiency. From the cellular level to their overall shape, nearly every aspect of shark anatomy represents a finely tuned solution to the demands of ocean life. Let's explore this biological engineering, starting with the most unusual feature. A skeleton made not of bone, but of cartilage. Cartilage is the flexible, tough material found in our noses and ears. In humans, it's a minor player, but in sharks, rays, and their relatives, the elasmobranchs, cartilage forms the entire skeleton. This might seem like a disadvantage at first. Bone is hard, strong, and provides excellent support. But cartilage offers advantages that proved highly successful for sharks. First, it's much lighter than bone. Bone is dense and heavy, and in water, heavy things sink. Sharks don't have swim bladders, the gas-filled organs that bony fish use to control their buoyancy. Instead, sharks maintain their position in the water column through constant swimming and by storing oil in their large livers. Having a cartilaginous skeleton reduces overall body weight, making it easier to stay neutrally buoyant and requiring less energy to swim. Second, cartilage is flexible. A cartilaginous skeleton allows for more fluid body movements than a rigid, bony skeleton would permit. Watch a shark turn, and you'll see its entire body flex in a smooth curve. This flexibility enhances maneuverability, particularly important for species that hunt in complex environments like coral reefs or kelp forests. The cartilage in older, larger sharks does become partially calcified, reinforced with calcium deposits that make it harder and stronger, particularly in areas that bear significant loads like the jaws and vertebrae. This gives sharks the strength they need while maintaining the weight advantage. The downside of a cartilaginous skeleton is that it rarely fossilizes. Cartilage decays quickly after death, unlike bone, which can persist for millions of years under the right conditions. This is why complete shark fossils are extraordinarily rare, and why our knowledge of prehistoric sharks comes primarily from teeth, which are made of harder materials that fossilize more readily. Each shark produces thousands of teeth over its lifetime, so teeth are abundant in the fossil record. But complete skeletons are precious finds that paleontologists treasure. Speaking of teeth, let's consider one of the shark's most famous features. Shark teeth are not embedded in the jaw like ours. Instead, they're attached to a membrane that covers the jaw cartilage. This attachment allows teeth to be replaced continuously throughout the shark's life, a process called polyphyodonty. Behind the functional front row of teeth are several replacement rows, each tooth in a slightly less developed stage. As a tooth in the front row breaks, wears down, or falls out, a tooth from the row behind it moves forward to take its place. The entire process takes anywhere from a few days to a few weeks, depending on the species. The rate of tooth replacement and the total number of teeth a shark goes through in its lifetime are staggering. Some sharks can replace a set of teeth every 2 weeks. Over a lifetime of 20 or 30 years, a single shark might produce 20,000 to 40,000 teeth. This continuous replacement means sharks never have to worry about dental problems. Broken tooth? No problem. Another one's right behind it. Tooth worn down from chewing through tough prey? A fresh replacement is already growing in. This system has worked so well that it's remained essentially unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. The shape of shark teeth tells us about diet and hunting strategy. Great white sharks have large, triangular teeth with serrated edges, perfect for slicing through the flesh and blubber of marine mammals. Mako sharks have slender, pointed teeth with smooth edges, designed for grasping slippery fish that they swallow whole. Nurse sharks have small, crushing teeth for grinding up crustaceans and mollusks. Tiger sharks have uniquely shaped teeth with a distinctive notch, allowing them to cut through turtle shells and the tough skin of other sharks. The teeth of hammerhead sharks are relatively small and designed for grasping the rays they specialize in eating. This diversity in tooth morphology reflects the ecological diversity of sharks, each species fine-tuned to its particular dietary niche. The skin of sharks is another marvel of evolution. If you run your hand along a shark from head to tail, it feels relatively smooth. Reverse direction, however, stroking from tail to head, and the skin feels like rough sandpaper. This texture comes from dermal denticles, tiny, tooth-like scales that cover the shark's body. Each denticle has a structure remarkably similar to a tooth, with an outer layer of enamel-like material covering a core of dentine. These denticles point backward, toward the tail, which is why they feel smooth in one direction and rough in the other. Dermal denticles serve multiple functions. They provide protection, making the shark's skin tough and resistant to damage from prey, parasites, or collisions with rocks or coral. They also play a crucial role in hydrodynamics. The denticles reduce drag by controlling the way water flows over the shark's body. Engineers have studied shark skin for decades, trying to understand exactly how it achieves this drag reduction. Recent research showed that the denticles create tiny vortices in the boundary layer of water right next to the skin, and these vortices actually reduce overall friction. The principle has been applied to swimsuit design, with special textured fabrics designed to mimic shark skin, helping Olympic swimmers shave fractions of seconds off their times. It's also being explored for ship hulls and aircraft surfaces to improve fuel efficiency. The shape of a shark's body follows a pattern called fusiform, essentially a streamlined torpedo shape. The body is thickest near the middle and tapers toward both the head and tail. This form minimizes drag, allowing sharks to move through water with minimal resistance. Fast-swimming species like mako sharks and great whites have highly refined fusiform bodies that approach theoretical ideals for hydrodynamic efficiency. Slower bottom-dwelling species like wobbegongs and angel sharks have flattened bodies that help them blend into the sea floor. The tail, or caudal fin, provides the primary propulsion. Shark tails come in several distinct shapes, each suited to different swimming styles. The most common is the heterocercal tail, where the upper lobe is longer than the lower lobe. This asymmetry is found in most shark species and creates lift during swimming, helping the shark maintain its position in the water column. The tail sweeps side to side, and the body undulates in a wave motion that starts near the head and increases in amplitude toward the tail. Fast pelagic sharks like makos and great whites have crescent-shaped tails with upper and lower lobes of nearly equal size, a shape called lunate. This tail shape is extremely efficient for high-speed sustained swimming and generates thrust with minimal side-to-side body motion. The fins of sharks are marvels of engineering in themselves. The pectoral fins, the large fins on either side behind the gills, act like airplane wings, providing lift and helping control the shark's pitch and roll. Sharks angle their pectoral fins to generate lift when swimming forward, compensating for their tendency to sink since they lack swim bladders. The dorsal fins, usually one or two on the back, provide stability and prevent rolling. The pelvic fins help with stability and also play a role in reproduction. In male sharks, the pelvic fins are modified into claspers, which are used to transfer sperm to females during mating. Breathing in sharks works differently than in bony fish. Water enters through the mouth and sometimes through small openings called spiracles located behind the eyes. The water flows over the gills, where gas exchange occurs. Oxygen moves from the water into the blood, and carbon dioxide moves from the blood into the water. The water then exits through gill slits on the sides of the body. Most sharks have 5 gill slits on each side, though some species like 6-gill and 7-gill sharks have more. Some sharks must keep swimming constantly to maintain water flow over their gills, a requirement called obligate ram ventilation. Great whites, makos, and whale sharks fall into this category. Other sharks can pump water over their gills while stationary, allowing them to rest on the bottom. Nurse sharks and reef sharks do this regularly. The digestive system of sharks is relatively simple compared to mammals, but highly effective. The stomach can expand dramatically to accommodate large meals. Behind the stomach is a unique structure called the spiral valve, a corkscrew-shaped section of intestine that increases surface area for nutrient absorption without requiring a long digestive tract. This allows sharks to maintain their streamlined body shape while still efficiently extracting nutrients from food. Digestion in sharks is relatively slow, often taking several days for a large meal. This low digestion rate means sharks can go long periods between meals, an important adaptation for predators that can't always count on finding food regularly. The liver of a shark is enormous, sometimes making up 25% or more of the total body weight. This huge organ serves multiple functions. It stores energy in the form of oil, provides buoyancy, and helps maintain balance. The oil in shark livers is less dense than water, creating lift. Deep-sea sharks have particularly large, oil-rich livers that help them maintain buoyancy in the high-pressure environment of the deep ocean. Historically, shark liver oil was highly prized, used in lamps and as a lubricant, and sadly, over-harvesting for liver oil devastated populations of some species like basking sharks. The circulatory system of sharks is relatively simple, with a 2-chambered heart that pumps blood in a single loop through the body. Blood flows from the heart to the gills, where it picks up oxygen, then to the rest of the body to deliver that oxygen, and finally back to the heart. This system is less efficient than the 4-chambered hearts of mammals and birds, but it's adequate for the shark's needs. Most sharks are ectothermic, meaning their body temperature matches the surrounding water. However, some species, woys, including great whites, makos, and salmon sharks, are regionally endothermic. They can keep certain parts of their body, particularly their muscles and brain, warmer than the surrounding water through a special heat exchange system called a rate de mirabile. This gives them advantages in cold water, including faster muscle contractions for burst speed and better processing power in the brain. The nervous system in sharks includes a well-developed brain with distinct regions for processing different types of sensory information. The olfactory bulbs, which process smell, are particularly large. The cerebellum, which coordinates movement, is also well developed, reflecting the complex swimming behaviors sharks perform. While shark brains are not as large relative to body size as mammal brains, they're perfectly adequate for the shark's lifestyle. Recent research has shown that sharks are capable of learning, can recognize individual humans, and show problem-solving abilities that challenge old assumptions about fish being simple, instinct-driven creatures. All of these anatomical features work together to create an animal supremely adapted to ocean life. The cartilaginous skeleton provides flexibility and reduces weight. The skin, covered in denticles, protects while reducing drag. The teeth regenerate continuously. The senses detect everything from electric fields to distant sounds. The fusiform body slips through water with minimal resistance. Every aspect of shark anatomy has been refined over hundreds of millions of years, tested by natural selection in every imaginable marine environment. And the result is a creature so successful that its basic body plan has changed little even as species have come and gone, and the world has transformed around them. Diversity of species, from giants to dwarfs. When most people picture a shark, they envision a great white, sleek, powerful, with rows of sharp teeth and a reputation for danger. But the approximately 500 species of sharks alive today represent an extraordinary range of sizes, shapes, behaviors, and ecological roles. From the whale shark, the largest fish in the ocean, to the dwarf lantern shark, which could fit in your hand, the diversity of sharks rivals that of any other vertebrate group. Let's start at the top of the size scale with the whale shark. These gentle giants can reach lengths of over 40 feet, with some individuals possibly exceeding 60 feet, and they can weigh up to 20 tons. Despite being the largest sharks, and indeed the largest fish of any kind, whale sharks are filter feeders that pose no threat to humans. They swim slowly through tropical and warm temperate seas with their enormous mouths wide open, straining vast quantities of water through gill rakers that trap tiny organisms like plankton, small fish, and fish eggs. Their skin is up to 4 inches thick in places and covered with a distinctive pattern of light spots and stripes on a dark background. Each whale shark's spot pattern is unique, like a fingerprint, allowing researchers to identify and track individuals. The basking shark is the second largest shark species, reaching lengths of about 30 feet. Like whale sharks, basking sharks are filter feeders found in temperate oceans around the world. They often swim slowly at the surface with their mouths gaping open, basking in the sunlit waters where plankton are most abundant. The gill rakers of a basking shark can filter over 1 to 800 tons of water per hour. Despite their enormous size and somewhat scary appearance, they're completely harmless to humans. Basking sharks were historically overfished for their liver oil, and populations in some areas still haven't recovered. On the other end of the size spectrum, we find sharks so small they seem almost impossible. The dwarf lantern shark holds the record as the smallest known shark species, reaching a maximum length of about 8 inches. It lives in deep waters off the northern coast of South America, where it feeds on small invertebrates and fish. As its name suggests, it's bioluminescent, with light-producing organs called photophores on its belly that likely help camouflage its silhouette from predators looking up from below, a technique called counter-illumination. The most recognizable and most feared shark is undoubtedly the great white. These powerful predators can reach lengths of 20 feet, with females growing larger than males. Great whites are found in coastal and offshore waters of all major oceans, though they prefer temperate regions. They're apex predators that feed primarily on marine mammals like seals and sea lions once they reach adulthood. Younger great whites eat fish and other sharks. Despite their fearsome reputation, great white attacks on humans are rare and almost never result in repeated bites. Scientists believe most attacks occur when the shark mistakes a person, especially a surfer on a board, for a seal from below. Tiger sharks are another large predator species, reaching 16 feet or more in length. They're named for the dark vertical stripes on their sides, which are more prominent in juveniles and fade with age. Tiger sharks have the most diverse diet of any shark, eating everything from fish, turtles, and seabirds to dolphins, rays, and even other sharks. They're notorious for eating unusual items, garbage, license plates, and other debris, earning them the nickname garbage cans of the sea. This indiscriminate diet makes them potentially dangerous to humans, though attacks remain relatively rare. Tiger sharks are found in tropical and subtropical waters worldwide. Bull sharks have earned a reputation as perhaps the most dangerous sharks to humans, not because they're more aggressive than great whites, but because they inhabit waters where people spend time. Unlike most shark species, bull sharks can tolerate fresh water and often enter rivers and estuaries. They've been found hundreds of miles up the Mississippi, Amazon, and Ganges rivers. They prefer murky water and shallow depths where their potential prey, including humans, are more likely to encounter them. Bull sharks are stocky and powerful, reaching about 11 feet in length, and they feed on a wide variety of prey, including fish, dolphins, turtles, and other sharks. Mako sharks are the fighter jets of the shark world. The short fin mako is probably the fastest shark, capable of burst speeds of 45 miles per hour and possibly higher. They're also known for their spectacular leaps out of the water, sometimes jumping 20 feet or more into the air. Makos have a distinctive pointed snout, long slender teeth, and a metallic blue coloration on the back, fading to white below. They hunt in open ocean, feeding primarily on fast-swimming fish like tuna and swordfish, which they can outpace despite their prey's impressive speed. Their warm-blooded adaptation, the ability to keep their muscles warmer than the surrounding water, gives them a significant speed advantage. Hammerhead sharks are perhaps the most instantly recognizable sharks due to their bizarre head shape. There are several species of hammerhead, ranging from the great hammerhead, which can reach 20 feet, to the bonnethead, which maxes out at about 5 feet. The evolutionary advantage of the hammer-shaped head, called a cephalofoil, has been debated for decades. Recent research suggests several benefits. The head's shape provides lift during swimming, like a wing. The wide-set eyes give better binocular vision and a wider field of view. Most importantly, the increased surface area allows for more ampullae of Lorenzini, giving hammerheads superior electroreception. Great hammerheads are known to pin stingrays to the ocean floor with their heads while biting off of pieces, immune to the ray's venomous spine. Thresher sharks have perhaps the most unique hunting strategy of any shark species. Their tail fin is extraordinarily long, sometimes as long as the rest of their body, and they use it as a weapon. Thresher sharks hunt schools of small fish and squid, circling their prey to herd them into tight groups. Then, the shark whips its tail forward over its head like a bullwhip, stunning or killing multiple prey with a single strike. This hunting behavior has been captured on video by researchers and is absolutely remarkable to watch. The 3 species of thresher sharks can reach 20 feet in length, with roughly half of that being tail. Goblin sharks look like something from a horror movie. They have elongated, flattened snouts that extend forward like a blade, and their jaws can protrude dramatically from the head when feeding, shooting forward to grab prey. Goblin sharks are deep-sea dwellers, usually found at depths of around 3,000 feet, but sometimes much deeper. They're pink in color due to blood vessels visible through their translucent skin. Goblin sharks are rarely seen alive, and much about their behavior remains mysterious. The specimens that have been caught suggest they're sluggish swimmers that ambushes prey rather than chasing it. Frilled sharks are living fossils, bearing remarkable resemblance to their ancestors from 80 million years ago. They have eel-like bodies, 6 gill slits rather than the typical 5, and mouths full of needle-like teeth designed to snag prey. Frilled sharks live in deep water and feed on fish and squid, which they probably ambush in the dark depths. They can reach 6 feet in length and give birth to live young after an extraordinarily long pregnancy that may last 3.5 years, the longest gestation period of any vertebrate. Greenland sharks live in the cold, deep waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, where they grow slowly to massive sizes, potentially reaching 24 feet in length. They're among the slowest swimming sharks, typically cruising at less than a mile per hour. Remarkably, research published in recent years suggests Greenland sharks may be the longest-lived vertebrates on Earth, potentially living for 400 years or more. Radiocarbon dating of eye lens proteins from caught sharks showed ages of at least 272 years, with the largest specimens possibly over 500 years old. These ancient sharks were already swimming the Arctic depths when Shakespeare was writing his plays. Angel sharks are ambush predators that have evolved a flattened ray-like body plan. They spend most of their time buried in sand on the ocean floor, with only their eyes protruding, waiting for prey to pass within striking distance. When prey comes close enough, the angel shark erupts from the sand with surprising speed, engulfing the prey in its jaws. Several species of angel sharks are critically endangered due to overfishing, particularly in the Mediterranean. Lantern sharks are a diverse family of deep-sea sharks, most less than 2 feet long, that produce their own light through bioluminescence. They have photophores on their bellies and sides that glow in the darkness of the deep sea. This light likely serves multiple purposes: camouflage through counter-illumination, communication with other lantern sharks, and possibly attracting prey. There are over 50 species of lantern sharks, and new species are still being discovered as deep-sea exploration technology improves. Carpet sharks are a varied group that includes whale sharks, wobbegongs, zebra sharks, and nurse sharks. The wobbegongs are particularly interesting, with elaborate fringe-like growths around their mouths and ornate patterns on their skin that provide excellent camouflage against the rocky reefs where they live. They're ambush predators that grab passing fish with a quick upward snap of their jaws. This tremendous diversity of shark species reflects nearly 500 million years of evolution in every marine environment imaginable, from sunlit tropical reefs to the perpetual darkness of the abyssal depths. From frigid Arctic waters to warm coastal estuaries, each species has carved out its own ecological niche, developing unique adaptations for finding food, avoiding predators, and reproducing successfully. Despite their differences, all sharks share that fundamental body plan that's proven so successful: a cartilaginous skeleton, multiple rows of replaceable teeth, acute senses, and a form refined by natural selection for efficient movement through water. The diversity we see today is just a fraction of the diversity sharks have shown throughout their long history. Thousands of extinct species have come and gone, each successful for a time before changing conditions or competition drove them to extinction. The sharks swimming in today's oceans are the survivors, the species whose particular combinations of traits allowed them to persist where others failed. Reproduction and life cycles. Shark reproduction is far more sophisticated than most people realize. Unlike the majority of fish, which simply release eggs and sperm into the water and leave everything to chance, sharks have evolved diverse and often surprisingly complex reproductive strategies. These strategies reflect the shark's environments and lifestyles, and they reveal behaviors that challenge our assumptions about fish intelligence and parental investment. The most fundamental division in shark reproduction is between species that lay eggs and those that give birth to live young. Only about 40% of shark species are oviparous, meaning they lay eggs. These eggs are unlike bird eggs or the soft eggs of amphibians. Shark eggs are enclosed in tough, leathery cases, often called mermaid's purses for their distinctive shape. These egg cases have tendrils at the corners that catch on rocks or seaweed, anchoring the egg in place while the embryo develops inside. The embryo is nourished by a large yolk sac, and development can take anywhere from a few months to over a year depending on the species and water temperature. Horn sharks, cat sharks, and bamboo sharks are among the oviparous species. The majority of sharks, about 60% of species, give birth to live young. But even within this group, there's remarkable diversity in exactly how development occurs. The simplest form is ovoviviparity, where eggs develop and hatch inside the mother's body, and the young are born alive but receive no nourishment from the mother beyond the initial yolk sac. Sand tiger sharks use this strategy, but with a macabre twist called intrauterine cannibalism. Multiple embryos develop in each of the mother's 2 uteri, but only the first embryo to hatch in each uterus survives. This early hatching embryo then consumes its siblings while still in the womb, emerging as a larger, more developed individual. It's brutal, but it gives the survivor a better chance in the dangerous ocean environment. True viviparity, where the mother provides nourishment to developing embryos through a placenta-like connection, has evolved in several shark species including hammerheads, bull sharks, and blue sharks. In these species, once the yolk sac is depleted, the empty sac develops into a placental connection with the mother's uterine wall. Nutrients and oxygen pass from mother to embryo, and waste products pass back. This system requires significant maternal investment, as the mother must provide energy to support the growing embryos, often for many months. Mating in sharks involves internal fertilization, with the male using modified pelvic fins called claspers to transfer sperm into the female. The mating process can appear violent to human observers. Males often bite females during courtship and mating, leaving scars. Female sharks in species where this occurs have evolved thicker skin than males, providing some protection from these mating bites. In some species, females may mate with multiple males, storing sperm for months or even years before using it to fertilize eggs. This sperm storage allows females to time reproduction to favorable conditions, even if males aren't present. Gestation periods in sharks are among the longest in the animal kingdom. While a human pregnancy lasts 9 months, a frilled shark may carry her young for 3.5 years. Spiny dogfish sharks have pregnancies lasting up to 2 years. Even species with shorter pregnancies, like lemon sharks with gestation around 12 months, are on the longer end compared to most fish. These long gestation periods mean female sharks can't reproduce frequently. A female great white might only give birth every 2 or 3 years, producing a small litter of pups each time. Litter sizes vary dramatically by species. Some sharks, like the blue shark, can have over 100 pups in a single litter. Others, like great whites, typically have between 2 and 10 pups. Sand tiger sharks, due to their intrauterine cannibalism, give birth to just 2 pups, one from each uterus. The size of shark pups at birth is generally quite large relative to the adult size compared to most other fish. A newborn great white shark is already about 4 feet long and capable of hunting on its own immediately after birth. This large size is crucial, as sharks provide no parental care after birth. Many shark species use specific areas called nurseries for giving birth. These nurseries are typically in shallow coastal waters, estuaries, or lagoons, where food is abundant and large predators are less common. Young sharks spend their first months or years in these relatively safer waters, growing and developing before venturing into the open ocean. The use of nursery areas has been documented in many species, including lemon sharks, bull sharks, sandbar sharks, and great whites. Researchers have identified critical nursery habitats in places like the Bahamas, Florida Bay, and various estuaries along the Pacific and Atlantic coasts. Protection of these nursery areas is crucial for shark conservation, as losing a nursery can devastate a local shark population's ability to replenish itself. Growth rates in sharks are generally slow compared to most bony fish. It can take years or even decades for a shark to reach sexual maturity. Great white sharks don't reach maturity until they're 12 to 15 years old for males and 15 to 20 years old for females. During this juvenile period, they're vulnerable to predation from larger sharks and other marine predators. The slow growth and late maturity make shark populations particularly vulnerable to overfishing, as populations can't bounce back quickly when their numbers are reduced. Different shark species have vastly different lifespans. Smaller species like spiny dogfish can live 25 to 100 years. great whites may live 70 years or more. As mentioned earlier, Greenland sharks potentially live for over 400 years, making them older than any other known vertebrate. These long lifespans would seem to be an advantage, giving individuals many opportunities to reproduce over their lives. However, coupled with late maturity and infrequent reproduction, they also mean that shark populations are slow to recover from declines. The mating systems of sharks vary. Some species form aggregations during mating season, with multiple males competing for access to females. In other species, males and females may be solitary, coming together only briefly to mate before separating again. There's evidence in some species of complex courtship behaviors. Male sharks may follow females, sometimes for days, displaying various behaviors that may signal their quality as mates. Female choice may play a role in some species, with females favoring certain males over others. An unusual phenomenon called parthenogenesis has been documented in a few shark species in captivity. Parthenogenesis is reproduction without fertilization by a male, essentially virgin birth. Female hammerhead sharks, bamboo sharks, and blacktip sharks in aquariums have given birth to viable offspring despite having no contact with males. The offspring are not clones of the mother, but rather have half her genetic material, as if an egg was fertilized by a polar body rather than a sperm. While parthenogenesis has mostly been observed in captive sharks, likely as a response to the lack of available males, it may occasionally occur in wild populations as well. This ability to reproduce without males could theoretically help maintain a population when males are scarce, though the genetic diversity loss would be a significant long-term problem. The diversity of reproductive strategies in sharks reflects their evolutionary success in adapting to different environments and lifestyles. From the simple egg-laying of horn sharks to the sophisticated placental viviparity of hammerheads. From the cannibalistic embryos of sand tigers to the potential parthenogenesis of captive sharks. These animals have explored a remarkable range of reproductive possibilities. This diversity makes it difficult to generalize about sharks, but it also demonstrates the group's flexibility and adaptability, traits that have served them well over their long evolutionary history. Ecological roles and ocean health. Sharks are far more than just predators. They are keystone species, organisms whose presence and activities have outsized effects on their ecosystems. Remove sharks from an ocean environment, and the ripple effects cascade through the entire food web, often with unexpected and destructive consequences. Understanding the ecological roles of sharks helps us appreciate why their conservation matters not just for the sharks themselves, but for the health of ocean ecosystems that billions of people depend on. As apex predators, sharks sit at or near the top of marine food chains. They hunt and consume a variety of prey including fish, marine mammals, sea turtles, rays, and other sharks. This predation serves multiple important functions. First, it controls prey populations. Without predators to keep their numbers in check, prey species can explode in abundance, overgrazing their own food sources and potentially causing ecosystem collapse. Sharks help maintain prey populations at sustainable levels. Second, sharks tend to prey on the weak, sick, and injured. This culling removes individuals that might spread disease and removes genetic weaknesses from prey populations. It's a harsh kind of natural selection, but it keeps prey populations healthy and robust. When apex predators are removed from an ecosystem, prey species may increase in number initially, but they often become less healthy over time as disease spreads more easily and resources become stretched. Third, sharks influence the behavior of their prey. Prey species that live in the presence of sharks become more cautious, spending more time in safer habitats and less time in risky but food-rich areas. This landscape of fear, created by predators, actually helps protect certain habitats from overgrazing. In areas where sharks have been heavily fished, prey species become bolder, venturing into habitats they would normally avoid, and often over-consuming resources there. A famous example of these cascading effects comes from the eastern coast of the United States. Overfishing dramatically reduced populations of large sharks in the Atlantic. With fewer sharks around, populations of smaller sharks, rays, and skates, which are prey for the large sharks, increased substantially. These smaller elasmobranchs feed heavily on shellfish, including scallops. In some areas, the explosion of ray populations led to the collapse of scallop fisheries. The removal of apex predators at the top of the food chain had cascaded down to affect commercial fisheries, demonstrating the interconnectedness of ocean ecosystems and the economic value of maintaining shark populations. Tiger sharks provide another excellent example of ecological importance. In seagrass beds off Western Australia, tiger sharks hunt sea turtles and dugongs. The presence of tiger sharks makes these large herbivores nervous, causing them to spend less time grazing in the most nutritious but exposed seagrass meadows and more time in safer but less productive areas. This predator-driven behavior protects the seagrass meadows from overgrazing, maintaining their health and diversity. Seagrass beds provide crucial ecosystem services, serving as nurseries for fish, protecting coastlines from erosion, and sequestering carbon from the atmosphere. By influencing herbivore behavior, tiger sharks indirectly protect seagrass meadows and all the benefits they provide. Whale sharks and basking sharks, despite being filter feeders rather than predators, also play important ecological roles. As they filter enormous quantities of water, they consume vast amounts of plankton. This grazing helps control plankton blooms and influences the cycling of nutrients through ocean food webs. When these huge sharks defecate, they release nutrient-rich waste that stimulates plankton growth in different areas, essentially redistributing nutrients across ocean regions. Their movements also bring nutrients from deep waters to surface waters as they dive and resurface. The migrations of sharks connect distant ecosystems. Great white sharks migrate thousands of miles between feeding areas and breeding areas, crossing entire ocean basins. During these journeys, they transport nutrients in their bodies, feeding in one area and then depositing waste or dying in another area far away. This nutrient transport, called spatial subsidies by ecologists, helps maintain productivity in areas that might otherwise be nutrient poor. Salmon sharks, which feed in the productive waters off Alaska and then migrate to warmer waters to breed, are transporting nutrients from cold productive regions to warmer, less productive regions. Dead sharks provide another important ecosystem service. When a large shark dies and sinks to the ocean floor, its body becomes what's called a food fall, a bonanza of nutrients that supports a whole community of deep-sea scavengers and decomposers. Crabs, hagfish, amphipods, and other organisms feast on the carcass, and bacteria break down what remains, releasing nutrients back into the ecosystem. In the deep sea, where food is scarce, these occasional bonanzas are crucial for supporting biodiversity. The economic value of healthy shark populations extends beyond ecosystem services. Shark tourism has become a major industry in many locations. Divers pay premium prices to see sharks in their natural habitats, and local economies benefit from this ecotourism. The Bahamas, Palau, Fiji, and South Africa are among many destinations where shark diving is a significant economic driver. Studies have shown that a single reef shark can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over its lifetime through tourism, compared to the few $100s it might fetch if killed for its fins. This economic argument provides powerful incentive for shark conservation in places where these animals are threatened. Sharks also serve as indicators of ecosystem health. As long-lived predators at the top of food chains, sharks accumulate environmental contaminants in their tissues. Scientists monitor shark populations and study their health to detect problems in marine ecosystems. Declining shark populations can signal overfishing, habitat degradation, or pollution problems. In this way, sharks serve as sentinels, warning us of broader environmental issues. The loss of sharks from ecosystems can trigger trophic cascades, ripple effects that flow down through food webs with sometimes devastating results. In addition to the scallop fishery collapse mentioned earlier, other examples have been documented. In areas where sharks have declined, populations of their prey increase. These prey species then overexploit their own food sources, which can lead to unexpected consequences. Mathematical models and empirical studies have shown that the loss of apex predators can actually reduce overall ecosystem productivity and stability. Despite their importance, shark populations worldwide are declining at alarming rates. Approximately 1/4 of shark species are classified as threatened with extinction by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Some populations have declined by 90% or more over recent decades. The causes are primarily human activities, overfishing, both targeted and incidental capture as bycatch, the demand for shark fins, habitat destruction, and climate change. The loss of sharks doesn't just mean fewer sharks, it means degraded ocean ecosystems that are less productive, less diverse, and less resilient to other environmental changes. Ocean ecosystems evolved with sharks in them, and they function best with sharks present. The evidence is overwhelming that sharks play crucial roles in maintaining the health and balance of marine environments. From controlling prey populations to influencing behavior, from connecting distant ecosystems through migration to providing food falls for deep-sea communities, sharks are woven into the fabric of ocean life. Their conservation isn't just about preserving charismatic megafauna, though they certainly are that. It's about maintaining the health of ocean ecosystems that provide food, livelihoods, and ecosystem services to billions of people around the world. Shark behavior and intelligence. For much of the 20th century, scientists and the general public viewed sharks as simple, instinct-driven eating machines. They were thought to be incapable of learning, operating purely on pre-programmed behaviors with no intelligence to speak of. This view has been thoroughly overturned by recent research. Sharks, it turns out, are far more cognitively sophisticated than anyone imagined. They can learn, remember, solve problems, and even display something that looks remarkably like personality differences between individuals. Let's start with learning, a fundamental measure of cognitive ability. In laboratory settings, sharks have proven capable of learning a variety of tasks. Lemon sharks can learn to associate a specific geometric shape with food, then choose that shape from among several options to receive a reward. They can remember this association for months, even after extended periods without reinforcement. This isn't just basic conditioning, it requires memory and discrimination between similar stimuli. Port Jackson sharks, a small Australian species, have demonstrated spatial learning ability. In experiments, these sharks learned the locations of food sources in their environment and remembered those locations for up to a year. They could navigate complex environments, learning the locations of obstacles and finding efficient routes to goals. This spatial memory would be crucial in the wild, where sharks need to remember the locations of productive feeding areas, safe resting spots, and routes between them. Social learning, the ability to learn by observing others, has been documented in some shark species. Young sharks may learn hunting techniques by observing older individuals. In one case, scientists observed that smaller sharks in an area began using a more efficient hunting technique after larger sharks demonstrated it, suggesting transmission of information through observation. This is a cognitively demanding ability that was once thought to be limited to mammals and birds. Sharks can also solve problems. In captivity, sharks have learned to navigate mazes, figured out how to manipulate devices to get food, and even shown innovation in their approaches to challenges. They don't just repeat learned behaviors robotically, but can adjust their tactics when circumstances change. This flexibility suggests underlying cognitive processes more sophisticated than simple stimulus-response associations. Personality differences between individual sharks have been documented in several species. Some individuals are consistently bolder, more willing to explore new areas or approach novel objects. Others are consistently shyer, more cautious in their behavior. These personality differences are stable over time and across different contexts, meeting the criteria that psychologists use to define personality in other animals. The existence of personality differences suggests that sharks have more complex internal mental states than their reputation as mindless killers would suggest. Social behavior in sharks is more complex than most people realize. While many sharks are solitary for much of their lives, others form aggregations or groups. Some of these aggregations are simply responses to resource availability, sharks gathering where food is abundant. But in some cases, the groups appear to be more organized. Sharks may hunt cooperatively, with individuals coordinating their movements to herd prey or block escape routes. Female sharks of some species form groups, possibly for protection from aggressive males. White sharks have been observed showing site fidelity, returning to the same locations year after year. Some individuals have been tracked returning to the exact same seal colonies off South Africa, or to the same areas off California and Mexico. This suggests mental maps of their environment and the ability to navigate over vast distances to specific locations. Communication in sharks occurs through several channels. Body postures and movements can convey information between individuals. An arched back, lowered pectoral fins, and a lateral display might signal aggression or dominance. Sharks may also use their electrical sense to communicate. Since all living things generate electric fields, the pattern of electrical signals could potentially convey information about species, size, sex, or physiological state. Whether sharks actually use electrical signals for active communication or simply detect them passively is still being investigated. Chemical communication through pheromones likely plays a role in shark interactions, particularly in mating. Females may release chemical signals that attract males. Scent trails left by other sharks could provide information about their species, sex, size, and recent activities. Given sharks' acute sense of smell, chemical communication makes sense as a channel for long-distance information transfer. Play behavior, once thought to be limited to mammals and birds, may occur in sharks. Young sharks have been observed engaging in behaviors that seem to have no immediate survival purpose, repeatedly biting and pushing objects, chasing each other, or surfing in wave action. While more research is needed to confirm whether this truly constitutes play in the psychological sense, the behaviors fit many of the criteria used to define play in other species. Hunting strategies vary widely among shark species, reflecting different prey types and habitats. Great white sharks are ambush predators that attack from below, using speed and surprise to overwhelm seals. They sometimes breach completely out of the water in their pursuit of prey. Tiger sharks are more opportunistic, slowly cruising through their habitat and investigating anything that might be edible. Thresher sharks use their tails as whips to stun fish. Hammerheads scan the seafloor like living metal detectors for buried prey. These different strategies require different cognitive abilities and sensory emphases. Some sharks show remarkable patience and planning in their hunting. Oceanic white-tip sharks have been observed following groups of dolphins for days, waiting for a vulnerable individual to separate from the group. This requires the ability to delay gratification, to pass up smaller, easier prey in favor of waiting for a larger payoff. It requires recognizing that dolphins are potential prey even when they're currently inaccessible, and it requires persistence over long periods. Tool use, a cognitive milestone once thought unique to primates, has been observed in at least one shark species. Great hammerhead sharks have been documented using their unusual head shape as a tool, pinning stingrays against the seafloor while biting off pieces. While this might seem like a straightforward use of anatomy, the definition of tool use includes using one's own body, parts in novel ways to achieve goals, and this behavior fits that definition. Memory in sharks appears to be both short-term and long-term. short-term memory allows sharks to track the movements of prey during an active hunt, keeping tabs on multiple targets and adjusting pursuit accordingly. Long-term memory stores information about the locations of important areas. Learned associations between stimuli and outcomes, and possibly information about other individual sharks they've encountered. The question of whether sharks feel pain has ethical implications for how we treat them. While we can never know for certain what another species experiences subjectively, sharks possess nociceptors, sensory neurons that respond to potentially damaging stimuli, and they have the neural pathways to transmit this information to the brain. They show behavioral responses to injury consistent with pain, such as avoiding areas where they were previously hurt and engaging in protective behaviors. The weight of evidence suggests that sharks likely experience something akin to pain, though we can't know if it's subjectively similar to human pain experience. All of this research paints a picture very different from the mindless killer stereotype. Sharks are complex animals with sophisticated cognitive abilities, memory, learning, problem-solving, and possibly even consciousness and subjective experience. They're not swimming robots driven purely by hunger and instinct. They're animals with individual differences, capable of flexible behavior and adaptation. Animals that have evolved not just physical adaptations, but cognitive ones to meet the challenges of their environment. This understanding has implications for conservation and welfare. If sharks can learn, remember, and possibly suffer, then how we interact with them matters. Catch and release fishing practices, where sharks are caught, handled, and then released, may cause lasting stress and learned avoidance of areas. The treatment of sharks in captivity requires consideration of their cognitive needs, providing environments that allow for natural behaviors and mental stimulation. It also affects how we think about human-shark interactions. A shark that bites a human may be making a mistake, misidentifying the person as a normal prey item, but it may also be investigating, using the only tools it has, its jaws and teeth, to explore an unfamiliar object. Understanding shark cognition doesn't make them less powerful or less potentially dangerous, but it does make them less alien, less incomprehensible. They're not mindless threats, but intelligent animals navigating their environment as best they can with the senses and the cognitive abilities evolution has given them. Conservation challenges. Sharks survived 5 mass extinction events over 450 million years. They weathered dramatic climate changes, competed successfully against countless other predators, and adapted to virtually every marine environment on Earth. Yet, today, many shark species face a more immediate threat of extinction than at any time in their long history. The cause isn't an asteroid strike or volcanic eruptions, it's us. Human activities, particularly overfishing, are pushing many shark populations toward collapse, and the speed of decline is alarming to scientists and conservationists worldwide. The numbers tell a sobering story. Approximately 100 million sharks are killed each year by human activities, though some estimates push this number even higher, perhaps 150 to 270 million. The uncertainty in these numbers exists because much shark fishing is unreported or underreported, and bycatch, the accidental capture of sharks in fisheries targeting other species, often goes unrecorded. A study published in 2021 found that populations of oceanic sharks and rays declined by 71% since 1970. More than one-third of all shark and ray species are now threatened with extinction, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Some populations have declined by 90 to 99%. The primary driver of these declines is overfishing, both targeted and incidental. Targeted shark fishing has occurred for centuries, with sharks harvested for their meat, skin, liver oil, and cartilage. But the biggest driver of shark fishing in recent decades has been the demand for shark fins, particularly in East Asian markets where shark fin soup is considered a delicacy and status symbol. The practice of shark finning, where sharks are caught, their fins sliced off, and the still living animal thrown back into the ocean to die, has decimated shark populations in many areas. Shark fins themselves have little nutritional value and virtually no taste. The soup's appeal comes from the texture the processed fins provide, and the cultural significance of serving an expensive dish at important events like weddings. A single shark fin can sell for hundreds of dollars, with the most prized fins from large sharks fetching even more. This economic incentive has driven intensive fishing of sharks around the world. While finning has been banned in many countries, enforcement is difficult, and the trade continues illegally in many places. Even where finning is banned and sharks must be landed whole. The value of fins means sharks continue to be heavily targeted, and the reproductive biology of sharks, those long gestation periods, late maturity, and small litters, means populations cannot rebound quickly when depleted. A cod or tuna population might recover within a few years if fishing pressure is reduced. A shark population might need decades. Bycatch poses an equally serious threat. Sharks are caught incidentally in fisheries targeting other species, particularly in longline fisheries for tuna and swordfish, bottom trawl fisheries, and gillnet fisheries. Some sharks survive being caught and can be released alive, though they often suffer injuries and stress that reduce their survival rates. Many sharks die before they can be released. Because bycatch is often unreported, its full impact on shark populations is hard to measure, but it's certainly substantial. Habitat degradation threatens sharks in multiple ways. Coastal development destroys shallow water nursery areas that many shark species rely on for giving birth and raising young. Pollution contaminates waters and accumulates in shark tissues. As apex predators with long lifespans, sharks bioaccumulate toxins like mercury and PCBs over their lives, sometimes reaching levels that may affect their health and reproduction. Climate change alters ocean temperatures and chemistry, potentially affecting shark distribution, prey availability, and nursery habitat suitability. One particularly insidious threat is the practice of shark culling, the deliberate killing of sharks near beaches to reduce the risk of shark attacks on humans. Several countries and regions have implemented culling programs using drumlines, nets, or targeted hunts to remove sharks from coastal areas. The effectiveness of these programs in actually reducing shark attacks is questionable at best, and the ecological damage they cause is clear, They don't discriminate between dangerous and harmless species, often killing threatened species along with target species. And they remove important predators from ecosystems, potentially triggering the cascading effects we discussed earlier. The illegal wildlife trade in shark products continues despite regulations. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, or CITES, now lists several shark species restricting international trade in their parts. However, enforcement remains a challenge. Shark fins in markets are often impossible to identify to species without DNA testing, making it easy to mix fins from protected species with those from legal species. The high value of shark products and the difficulty of monitoring and enforcement mean the illegal trade persists. Some conservation efforts offer hope. Marine protected areas, where fishing is restricted or prohibited, can help rebuild shark populations if they're large enough and well enforced. Palau, the Bahamas, and other nations have created shark sanctuaries where shark fishing is completely banned. These sanctuaries not only protect sharks but also support ecotourism, providing economic incentives for conservation. Fishing regulations, including catch limits, size limits, and gear restrictions, can help manage shark populations sustainably. Some countries now require that sharks be landed whole, making finning impossible. Others have banned retention of certain threatened shark species. The challenge is implementing these regulations globally and ensuring compliance. Consumer awareness campaigns aim to reduce demand for shark products. If people understand the impact of consuming shark fin soup or other shark products, they may choose alternatives. Some conservation groups have successfully convinced hotels and restaurants to stop serving shark fin soup, and some celebrities and influential figures in Asian communities have spoken out against the practice, helping to shift cultural attitudes. Research and monitoring are crucial for conservation. Scientists are working to better understand shark populations, migration patterns, breeding sites, and ecological roles. This information guides conservation planning and helps identify priority areas and species for protection. New tagging technologies allow researchers to track individual sharks across ocean basins, revealing important habitats and migration corridors that need protection. Public education helps counter the negative perception of sharks that persists in many cultures. Movies like Jaws cemented an image of sharks as mindless killing machines. Conservation organizations work to present a more accurate picture of sharks as important, vulnerable, and generally harmless. Most shark species pose no threat to humans, and even the species capable of injuring people rarely do so. The economic argument for conservation is increasingly recognized. As mentioned earlier, live sharks are worth far more through tourism than dead sharks sold for parts. This economic reality provides a powerful incentive for protection, particularly in developing countries where ecotourism can provide sustainable livelihoods. Yet despite these efforts, shark populations continue to decline in most parts of the world. The fundamental problem is that sharks are vulnerable to overfishing due to their life history traits, and fishing pressure continues to exceed sustainable levels in most regions. Until fishing pressure is dramatically reduced, either through stronger regulations or reduced demand for shark products, many species will continue their slide toward extinction. The loss of sharks would be catastrophic not just for the sharks themselves, but for ocean ecosystems and the human communities that depend on them. When we protect sharks, we're not just protecting a group of species, we're protecting the health and resilience of marine environments, the productivity of fisheries that feed millions of people, the carbon sequestration capacity of ocean ecosystems, and the biodiversity that makes oceans fascinating and valuable. Sharks are a test of our ability to share the planet with other species and to make decisions that prioritize long-term sustainability over short-term profit. So far, we're failing that test, but there's still time to change course if we choose to. Myths, fears, and realities. Few animals inspire as much fear as sharks. The very word can conjure images of gaping jaws, razor-sharp teeth, and violent attacks. This fear has been amplified by popular culture, particularly by movies, news media, and sensationalized accounts that emphasize shark attacks while ignoring the broader reality of human-shark interactions. But when we examine the actual data and understand shark behavior, a very different picture emerges. Let's start with the numbers because they're remarkably clear. Worldwide, sharks kill an average of about 10 people per year. Some years it's fewer, some years slightly more, but 10 is a reasonable average. To put that in perspective, dogs kill around 25,000 people per year globally. Mosquitoes, through the diseases they transmit, kill around 700,000 people annually. Hippos kill more people than sharks. Elephants kill more people than sharks. Deer, indirectly through vehicle collisions, kill more people than sharks. The point isn't that sharks are harmless. They're powerful predators with impressive weapons, but rather that the risk they pose to humans is vanishingly small compared to many other animals and activities. Your chances of being attacked by a shark are roughly 1 in 11.5 million. Your chances of being killed by a shark are roughly 1 in 264 million. You are more likely to win the lottery, be struck by lightning, or be killed by a falling coconut than to be attacked by a shark. These statistics should provide perspective, yet shark attacks receive disproportionate media attention, creating a distorted perception of risk. The term attack itself may be misleading in many cases. When a shark bites a human, it's rarely an attack in the sense of a predator hunting prey. Most shark attacks are better characterized as cases of mistaken identity or investigation. A surfer on a surfboard, viewed from below, has a profile remarkably similar to a seal, a natural prey item for great white sharks. The shark isn't maliciously attacking, it's making a mistake. In many cases, the shark bites once, then releases and swims away, apparently realizing the human doesn't taste right and isn't normal prey. This is called a bite and release incident, and it's the most common pattern in shark encounters. Some shark encounters are likely investigative rather than predatory. Sharks don't have hands. They explore their environment using the tools they have, including their mouths. An unfamiliar object in the water, like a swimmer or diver, might elicit investigation. The shark might bump it with its snout, or give it a gentle bite, not trying to kill and eat it, but simply trying to determine what it is, unfortunately, Even a gentle bite from a large shark can cause serious injury to a human given the size of their teeth. Only a handful of shark species are responsible for most incidents involving humans. Great white sharks, tiger sharks, and bull sharks account for the majority of unprovoked attacks. These are large predatory species that sometimes occur in waters where people swim, surf, or dive. But even these species rarely interact with humans. A study tracking white sharks off the coast of California using drones revealed that sharks swim near surfers and swimmers far more often than anyone realized, usually passing without interaction. For every bite incident, there are likely thousands of encounters where the shark simply swims past, ignoring the human completely. The fear of sharks has been amplified by media portrayals. The 1975 film Jaws created a cultural image of sharks as vengeful monsters, actively hunting humans. While the film is a masterpiece of suspense and cinema, its portrayal of shark behavior is wildly inaccurate. Even Peter Benchley, who wrote the novel, later regretted the fear the story instilled and spent much of his later life working on shark conservation, trying to undo the damage his own work had done to sharks' reputation. News media contributes to shark fear through sensational coverage. A shark bite incident anywhere in the world might make international headlines, while the 25,000 annual deaths from dog bites receive minimal coverage. This selection bias in reporting creates the impression that shark attacks are common and increasing, when in fact the rate of attacks has remained relatively stable over recent decades, even as human populations in coastal areas and water recreation have increased dramatically. The reality is that sharks have far more reason to fear us than we have to fear them. We kill millions of sharks annually. They kill about 10 people. We've driven many species to the brink of extinction. They've removed a handful of swimmers and surfers from the human population. The imbalance is stark. Most shark species pose no threat to humans whatsoever. The vast majority are too small, too slow, or too specialized in their diets to be dangerous. Whale sharks and basking sharks are gentle giants that wouldn't harm anyone. Lantern sharks are smaller than your arm. Carpet sharks lie on the bottom and would much rather hide than interact with a human. Even among larger species, many are harmless. Nurse sharks are docile unless provoked. Leopard sharks and sand sharks in aquariums allow divers to swim among them with no aggression. When shark encounters do occur, they often result from human behavior that increases risk. Swimming at dawn or dusk when sharks are most active. Swimming in murky water where visibility is poor. Swimming near seal colonies or schools of fish that attract sharks. Swimming while bleeding or splashing vigorously. All of these increase the chance of an encounter. Most attacks occur in shallow water, often within a few hundred feet of shore, simply because that's where people are. It's also worth noting that many supposed shark sightings and fears are misidentifications. Dolphins, in poor visibility or seen briefly, can be mistaken for sharks. Harmless basking sharks with their large dorsal fins have caused panicked beach evacuations. The fear itself can be irrational, with people refusing to enter water that hasn't seen a shark attack in living memory, simply because sharks theoretically exist somewhere in that ocean. Interestingly, attitudes toward sharks are slowly changing. conservation efforts, documentaries showing sharks' ecological importance and impressive behaviors, and education about actual risks are helping. Some people see sharks differently. Shark diving tourism has grown, with people paying for the opportunity to see sharks underwater in their natural habitat. These experiences often transform people's perceptions, turning fear into fascination and respect. Scientists working with sharks report that the animals are generally calm and predictable when treated with respect. Researchers have swum with great whites, tiger sharks, and bull sharks while studying them, taking care to move smoothly and avoid behaviors that might trigger predatory responses. While these researchers are experts and their experiences shouldn't be used to argue that sharks are safe, they do demonstrate that sharks aren't the mindless killers of popular imagination. The fear of sharks has real consequences beyond just spoiled beach vacations. It drives support for harmful policies like shark culling. It reduces public support for conservation efforts. It creates misperceptions about ocean risks that may actually increase danger by causing people to focus on unlikely threats while ignoring more serious ones like rip currents, which kill far more people annually than sharks. As a society, we would benefit from a more rational assessment of risks. Sharks are powerful predators deserving of respect and caution. Swimming in certain areas at certain times does carry some risk of encountering a shark. But that risk is extraordinarily small, and it's one we should be willing to accept as part of sharing the ocean with its native inhabitants. We don't avoid the woods because bears live there, or stay out of fields because cows, which kill dozens of people annually, might be grazing. We simply exercise reasonable caution and accept that nature carries some inherent risks. Perhaps most importantly, we should recognize that our fear of sharks has contributed to their declining populations. When we view them as monsters, it's easier to justify killing them en masse. When we understand them as important, generally harmless, and increasingly threatened parts of ocean ecosystems, conservation becomes more urgent and justifiable. The real story of sharks and humans isn't one of sharks as threats to people. It's one of the people as the primary threat to sharks. And the challenge now is whether we can overcome our irrational fears long enough to protect these remarkable animals before it's too late. Closing reflections. And here we are, at the end of our journey through the world of sharks. We've traveled back 450 million years to meet their earliest ancestors. We've watched Megalodon patrol ancient seas with power beyond comprehension. We've explored senses so refined they border on supernatural, detecting electric fields weaker than anything we could imagine. We've seen diversity from the gentle whale shark, largest of all fish, to the tiny lantern shark glowing in the eternal darkness of the deep sea. We've learned about reproduction, ecology, behavior, and intelligence that challenge our assumptions about what fish can do and be. And we've confronted the uncomfortable truth that we, not sharks, are the real threat in this relationship. Sharks are living connections to the deep past, animals whose basic body plan was so successful it has persisted with refinements, but no fundamental changes for hundreds of millions of years. They swam beneath ancient seas when the first fish evolved. They watched the continents drift into new configurations. They survived extinction events that killed nearly all other life. They adapted to every marine environment Earth offers, from sun-drenched coral reefs to the lightless abyssal plains, from tropical lagoons to frigid Arctic waters. These are not simple animals. They are sophisticated hunters with senses beyond our experience, behaviors more complex than we imagined, and ecological roles so important that ocean ecosystems depend on them. They are individuals with personalities, capable of learning and memory, problem-solving, and perhaps even consciousness. They are both ancient and modern, carrying the legacy of 500 million years while navigating a rapidly changing contemporary ocean. And they need our help. The same traits that made sharks successful for so long: slow growth, late maturity, small litters, now make them vulnerable to the pressures we've imposed. When we remove tens of millions of sharks from the oceans every year, their populations cannot replace themselves. When we destroy coastal nurseries, fragment their habitats, and warm and acidify their waters, we're removing the environmental conditions they require. The trajectory for many species is toward extinction, not in millions of years, but in decades or less. Yet there is still time. Shark populations can recover if given the chance. Marine protected areas work. Fishing regulations work when enforced. Consumer awareness reduces demand for shark products. The economic value of ecotourism creates incentives for protection. The question is whether we care enough to act, whether we value ocean health enough to make difficult choices, whether we can overcome our irrational fears long enough to see sharks for what they truly are. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, perhaps you'll see sharks differently than you did before. Not as monsters, but as marvels. Not as threats, but as threatened. Not as alien, but as fellow travelers on this planet, trying to survive and thrive in environments changed by forces beyond their control. They've been here much longer than we have. They've survived challenges we can barely imagine. And whether they survive the challenge we pose to them now depends entirely on choices we make in the coming years. The oceans need their sharks. Ecosystems need their apex predators. And perhaps we need sharks as well, if only to remind us that we share this planet with creatures of great power, deep history, and astonishing capabilities. They've survived 5 mass extinctions. Let's not make the 6th extinction the one that finally defeats them. If this journey into the world of sharks has given you something to think about, something to appreciate, or simply a gentle way to end your day, I'd be grateful if you'd take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps these explorations reach more people, and it supports the continuing creation of a content that celebrates the natural world in all its fascinating complexity. Rest well tonight. Dream of ancient seas and gliding shadows. Dream of creatures perfectly adapted to their world. And maybe, just maybe, dream of oceans where sharks still patrol, still thrive, still play their crucial role in the endless dance of life beneath the waves. Good night.